Hey everybody, it's Aaron with Robert again, and this is Get Your Geek On. And we are going into a little show right now, a little thing that we probably will never do again. And I'm going to call it the ACDI. Aaron's Conspiracy Declassified of Information. There you go. I'm going to put that right here.
Okay.
Right there. That's what the show's called right now.
Conspiracy Declassified information. Yep. Okay. So what are we conspiring about today?
So, we just had a Spider-Man leak. First of all, it was leaked. The trailer.
The trailer, yes. The teaser trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home, right?
And then, next day, that evening, we got the real trailer, what it looked like.
Right, yep.
So, there's a lot to pick out from this trailer.
There is. It was, as teaser trailers go, there was a lot in this.
Yeah. And I just want to spend a few minutes to dissect it.
Okay.
Robert's going to keep me in check.
I'm going to try.
I could probably go on for way too long on this. But what did you think? Just first, what did you think?
So we've talked about all of the various reports of, returning actors, multiverse theories, and all that stuff. We've talked about that. And I think I have mentioned before that I'm a little bit worried. I have two primary worries. Number one is that I'm worried they're stuffing too much into this movie. I mean, there's been reports of like a full Sinister Six, all three Spider-Man. We already knew Doctor Strange was going to be in it and multiverse stuff. There's been even reports that we're going to get like Charlie Cox's Daredevil coming back. And it's just, it feels like, man, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So I'm worried about that. And I'm also worried, and it's been my same worry, that, and this is more of like the behind the scenes. We know that this is a Sony character. Spider-Man is owned by Sony, and Sony and Disney have played nice and then not played nice, and they, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm just worried that by the end of this movie, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is not going to be part of our main MCU continuity anymore. He's going to be off, maybe with Venom and Morbius and whatever other movies they're going to make over there, or the Kraven the Hunter and all those things that have been announced. And we're going to lose Tom Holland out of the MCU.
Right.
And I love Tom Holland Spider-Man. It's my favorite Spider-Man. Right. Absolutely. He's been so good and so refreshing. I loved him in Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame, as well as his first two movies. And so those are my worries. That being said, a lot of the stuff in the trailer, when that pumpkin bomb showed up, I was like, okay.
And his William Dafoe's laugh.
This is awesome. The de-aged Doc Ock was kind of like, okay, so we're not doing present day Alfred Molina. We're like dialing it back. But that's cool to get him back going, hello, Peter. I like that. So I think overall I'm really excited for this movie, but I do have some concerns. Before we get into all your conspiracy theories
and declassified information.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the trailer?
So overall, without going to any of that stuff yet, it was okay. As much as I'm in the same boat as you, you know that. I'm afraid that there is going to be too much that, let's face it, if you put William Dafoe, you put Alfred Molina, you're putting Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, you're putting...
Well, those last two
are maybes.
Even Willem Dafoe technically has not been confirmed, but I think that pumpkin bomb
pretty
much confirmed it. But we have Jamie Foxx supposedly returning.
And the guy playing Sandman.
Yeah, so Thomas Hayden Church, as well as Rhys Ifans Lizard and Jamie Foxx's Electro. Supposedly the 6 that we're getting is literally 3 from Tobey Maguire's universe, which is Goblin, Doc Ock, and Sandman. And then 3 from Andrew Garfield's universe, being Lizard, Electro, and supposedly...
Don't say it.
The Rhino, which is Paul Giamatti, who's actually a fantastic actor.
He is.
The way they used him in that movie was awful. And even having it be a mech suit, I was not a fan of.
Oh, I hated that.
But they've already said that they're kind of changing up the Electro look, that he's not going to be blue and all that stuff. So they could easily just change up the Rhino look.
Make him back into the
And if they did
costume.
that, I mean, okay, fine.
I'm okay with that.
But yeah, like pulling the Sinister Six out of 2 different universes, pitting them against 3 Spider-Man, and having Doctor Strange there, like it feels
and maybe
like,
Daredevil.
It feels like a lot.
And it does. And my worry has always been, I'm worried that Tom Holland's going to get outshined.
Right.
I mean, again, nothing. Tom Holland, you're an amazing actor, but again, people are going to want to.
Yeah.
And the nostalgia is going to kick in. Let's face it. For Tobey Maguire, the nostalgia is going to kick in for some that love Andrew Garfield. For me, I'm sorry, Willem Dafoe pops up on screen. He's stealing that scene.
He's one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite actors, and easily one of my favorite villains of all time.
Yes.
Is Willem Dafoe as Norman Osborn.
I think he sold me always on the bridge scene. There's always going to be a villain with a sadistic choice. Yep. Let die the woman you love, or save the bus full of kids, or whatever it was, and bam, they throw him. And again, though, Tom Holland, not cutting Tom Holland any slack. He is an amazing actor. But, I mean, yeah, that's always been my worry, too.
I'm on record saying that I think Tom Holland is the best actor of the MCU. I'm not worried he'll get outshined in his scenes. I'm worried that he'll get less scenes because there's so many other things going on.
Exactly.
That's my concern.
And I agree. But we'll see. I mean, there was a lot to unpack in this trailer. So
let's start unpacking.
Okay. First of all, I'm not liking the storyline. I'm going to say it right now.
Based on everyone's favorite comic, right? Or the universally hated arc of One More Day.
One More Day is what people don't mind until the very last issue, I think, with Mephisto. Which Mephisto is in this movie? First conspiracy theory. We do see...
Okay, WandaVision hurt me. It hurt me. So until Mephisto literally shows up on screen, I will not buy this conspiracy theory. I will not agree with you.
Okay, here's why I think Mephisto's in it first. This is the first conspiracy part.
Yep.
1, we see horns and a devil's face drawn on Peter Parker in somebody in the crowd.
Yep, we do.
So we see that. Number 2, they are stripping straight from One More Day, which Mephisto at the very end does erase everybody's mind of who is Spider-Man. He alters reality, essentially.
Yep.
Number 3.
In exchange for the marriage to MJ, which is like
oh my god, that was just...
Yeah, at least in this one, he can't do that because they're not married.
I'm sure he's going to somehow do something. That was that.
Yep.
And it was such a stupid little thing to do. And then in Brand New Day, we don't ever talk about that again.
That is...
So anyway, number 3 or whatever number I'm on now. I don't think that's Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
there is a running theory that might be Mephisto already.
Yeah, there certainly is, and I think Mephisto. Whether it's Mephisto or not, I think there is at least 2 different versions of Doctor Strange.
I believe that.
Whether they're multiverse versions or someone else in hiding pretending to be Doctor Strange, I 100% do not believe that Doctor Strange is the actual character doing all of the things in the trailer. Some of them maybe. But not all of them.
Now, here's another reason why I think Mephisto as well. When we see Tom Holland open the doors to the Sanctum Sanctorum, there's snow everywhere. There is a storyline where Mephisto and Doctor Strange kind of go at it. There is a tweet out there too, which I yes, I was prepared for this.
Is this the declassified files, or is this still conspiracy theories?
Both.
Okay.
So in Dante's Inferno, Satan is portrayed as a giant demon, frozen mid-breast in ice and at the center of hell. As Satan beats his wings, he creates a cold wind that continues to freeze the ice surrounding him. Hence, Doctor Strange also, Sanctum Sanctorum.
Right.
And then, of course, later on in the comics, Doctor Strange does confront Mephisto. What did you do to Peter's soul? Because that's supposed to be the whole thing that they deal. So Mephisto's in this. I really, really, really want to believe that and think it's true.
Okay, yep.
Number 2.
Not buying it because WandaVision.
It scarred too many of us. And I agree, though. I think we saw in this trailer 2 Doctor Strange. The ones that we saw originally when Peter sees him, I think that's one. But the one on the train, I believe it is a second one.
Yep.
Because he doesn't have the cape. And it almost seems like he's going against Peter, not really helping Peter.
Yeah, there does seem to be an element of antagonism. And they even see the shot where he pushes him into his astral form, whatever. Yeah. They're fighting over something. There's something
there's a box.
Spider-Man's trying to grab that Doctor Strange, it looks like, is trying to prevent him from grabbing.
Exactly. So there's at least 2.
Looks like. Context, who knows?
Now, here's my other theory.
Yep.
And this one I think is probably correct.
Okay.
I don't think we're gonna get Tobey Maguire, and I don't think we're gonna get Andrew Garfield. What I think, based upon one shot in this film or this trailer, we see Tom Holland wearing the black suit that Tobey Maguire wore in his. They look very similar.
It's slightly different.
Slightly different.
And we do know that the suit that is apparently for hopping between multiverses is kind of that design where it looks black. So it could be that same suit.
It could be that one.
Yep.
But he doesn't look like he knows where he is. So I'm assuming you're right. He probably was teleported. I'm thinking they're all going to be variants. We already have Loki variants. I think it's going to be Tom Holland in each universe. And we're not going to use...
Yeah.
So we don't have to ask, Toby or Andrew to come back.
No,
we're going to do variants of
I can't buy
Tom
this
Holland.
one because there's been too many reports of Toby and Andrew coming back, and I think that there's too many fans that would...
Oh, they're going to love it.
Like, that would love those two coming back, and I think Sony really wants to tie their stuff.
And that's true.
And hitch their wagon to the MCU. As much as they want to pull it back and get like, these are all our profits, you can't have them, Disney. Yeah. They really want to be like, but we're the same. Come to our movie too. Like, so they want it both ways. And so I really think we are getting Toby and Andrew. I'm on a first name basis with both of them.
Oh yeah, he calls them on a daily basis, I think.
Yep.
So
I tell them my thoughts, which is that Toby was a really great Peter Parker, but not a great Spider-Man, and Andrew was a really great Spider-Man, but not a great Peter Parker, which is why Tom Holland's the best because he brings both. I tell them that, and they actually hang up on me.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I figured that. Is that why they don't answer your calls
anymore? Their publicists are like, why is this crazy person still calling us?
Please stop. Please. No, I just got to tell them one more time. Yeah. So, I don't know. That's my theory, though, that maybe it's all really going to be Tom Holland doing it. Mm-hmm. And again, I think Doctor Strange.
Yep.
I think...
We've talked about, Mephisto, Doctor Strange, the variant theory.
I do wonder... There was one thing I did wonder. There's actually one shot that's going to be right here. Ooh. Flash has blonde hair now. I don't know if you saw that. If you see them walking up.
I did not see... I saw that he was in the trailer, but I didn't really notice real quickly what he looked like.
If you look right behind him, you see him with like a blonde hair. Nod to the original Flash Thompson with the blonde hair.
Sure.
Behind them, though, there's two redheads. What if those are other MJs? What if that's the real MJ I've been waiting for all this time? Because there are two women with red hair behind both of them.
We're deep into the conspiracy talk at this point. We didn't even see faces. We're just literally seeing red hair.
I want my MJ. Mm-hmm. What was the other thing? Redheads. So MJ's in it. I've watched this like 100 times.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, while you do that makes me think. So go ahead.
Well, I need you to listen to my question now because it's for you.
Do it both.
So we, in this version, we have not gotten Uncle Ben, right? Obviously, Toby and Andrew both had an Uncle Ben in their movies, but Tom Holland has not had one yet.
Right.
So my question to you is we haven't gotten the Uncle Ben line, the very famous line, with great power comes great responsibility, since the Tobey Maguire movies. I know it was said in the first one. I think it comes back in one of the other ones. I think like they do an echo of it. I don't remember exactly.
Andrew Garfield has like a terrible version of it.
Yeah, they change it. They change it in both of the next, like in Andrew Garfield's version, and then even in Civil War in our introduction where he's talking with Tony Stark. It kind of says, like, when the bad things happen and you don't do anything, they happen because of you. Like, so they've been hinting at it, but I think, and this is me, so I'm curious as to how you would feel about this. Having the fact that Tobey Maguire has the only one of our live-action Spider-Man that's had an Uncle Ben deliver that line to him, how would you feel if, during a scene of this movie, Tobey Maguire says that to Tom Holland? Like if he says the line,
with great power
comes great responsibility. Like, and even says like my Uncle Ben told me. Like maybe they're talking about like their Uncle Ben's and like how each one died, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, how would you feel? Because I don't know if they're gonna do that. There's certainly nothing in this trailer that makes me think that, but it was just a thought that I had. Like, I think that'd be a really great way to bring that line in and also honor the fact that it was kind of said in that movie, and so now here's the mantle being passed of that line. How would you feel about it?
I would be okay with it.
Okay.
I really would, as long as it's Toby that has to give it. It can't be Andrew Garfield.
I agree. No, it would have to be Toby.
Toby, but at the same time, and this is where I'm going to go dark a little bit, Toby has to go. That would be his send-off. Because he has
that
to
would
say
be
the
right
line.
before his sacrifice.
Yeah, like he's going to
Correct.
kill himself, like saving something, of course, or Goblin finally got him, somebody got him, and he's bleeding out, he's dying, and he's like, you have to know it's not your, almost like it's not your fault. I chose this, with great power. And he doesn't have to say it's my uncle. With great power comes a great responsibility. I've chosen this as my responsibility to do, and then sacrifices himself or just dies right there. So yeah, I would be okay with that as long as, like I say, it has to be Toby, can't be Andrew.
I agree.
And again, it has to be at a moment where Toby's about to die. If it's just one of those like a throwaway, like they're having a conversation. Well, with great power comes great responsibility. I don't know if I could live with that.
It has to have weight because it has weight in the first movie.
It has to give Spider-Man that purpose.
Right. And like we see that happen when it's delivered in the first movie, it's right before Uncle Ben dies. Like
exactly.
So, it needs to have the weight. But to me, I just felt like that'd be a cool way because I don't know that we're ever going to get the Uncle Ben in Tom Holland's movies. Like I think we're already on to a third movie. They're overstuffing. Like if they put Uncle Ben in this movie, I'm gonna be like, holy cow, there's way too much in here.
Well, the original actor is dead, right? Like he passed away.
Yes.
So you would have to get somebody else because Charlie Sheen or Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen did it in the Amazing Spider-Man version, but again,
he never says it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they both died in those movies. So I just
to me it would be okay, but again, it would have to be Toby. So now I remembered my other one.
Oh, great.
So, to all of you that said Charlie Cox was in this, you're freaking wrong. All of you.
Okay.
If Charlie Cox was not in this trailer.
I don't think he's in the trailer, I agree.
Because everyone's trying to freeze frame, and I don't know if you've seen it, the part with his arm, that one guy's arm stack, dropping the stack. I would like to point out, Matt Murdock is a defense attorney. These people in the room seem to be accusing Peter of doing something. The defense attorney wouldn't be in that room at that point.
Well, I mean, it's a different shot.
It might be, but I just don't think it's not him. I really don't think it's Charlie Cox.
I don't think that shot is Charlie Cox. I think it's entirely possible he's in this movie.
I agree.
But I don't think that shot is him.
No, and a lot of people are trying to say it's him. No, that I 99.9% sure
people are way down the rabbit hole, but so are you, just about different things.
I look, Dr. Doom was also in this, I'm sure. I just missed it somewhere.
Yeah, the voiceover thing of like, you might regret what you wished for, or something like that.
Or something about, I didn't know whose voice that was, because it didn't sound like Benedict Cumberbatch to me.
I thought it definitely did. Like, to me, that was... Because Cumberbatch has done like voiceover work, like
he does,
and it sounded like his Khan voice. Like it sounded like it was a slightly different version of Doctor Strange, and so to me it sounded like, oh, this is an evil version of Doctor Strange. Again, whether it's he who shall not be named, because I'm not buying that theory until it literally shows up on my screen. Or it's just a variant version of Doctor Strange who's gone a little bit evil.
Yeah.
I do think that is Benedict Cumberbatch. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, because I couldn't tell if it was William Dafoe. I haven't heard his voice in a long time.
It didn't sound like Goblin's Dafoe.
It didn't.
Or
that's
Dafoe's
what I was
Goblin.
That's why, but it could have been his Norman. Like he could be trying to stay calm because there was a growl to it. It felt
there was,
and I'm like, there's that growl. I hear it, and that's why I thought William Dafoe. But you're right. It doesn't sound like Green Goblin, but it sounded like maybe a Norman Osborn. And that's the other thing. How is Norman going to fit? And again, I think my problem with this whole trailer, and I'm going to wrap it up on this, is the Sinister Six themselves.
Yep.
Because if we are erasing everybody, we're bringing out... Well, first of all, when we see Doc Ock on the bridge say, hello, Peter, that's not the same shot where we see Peter putting on the Iron Spider suit.
No.
That's not. They're completely different shots, it looks like.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a Goblin fight, and I think it's going to be an Ock fight, and then Electro and Sandman fight. But I don't know how I would feel about all six of them working together. And instead, get rid of Rhino. Instead of Rhino, where's Vulture at this point? Where's Shocker? We've technically seen Scorpion, not in his costume,
right?
But we've seen somebody who is supposed to be Scorpion.
Yeah.
Where's Miles' uncle?
Right. Yeah.
Prowler.
And that's the thing is this movie seems like it's relying on a lot of villains that were in other universes.
Right.
And so I'm really curious, are we going to get any that either have been set up in previous movies in this timeline or a new one from this time? Like, yeah, I'm with you. Like, even like, could Mysterio return? I mean, it was a giant virtual, visual effect. So, like, you could easily bring that character back.
Easily.
And even if, like, Quentin Beck died completely, you could still bring Mysterio back easily.
Well, and there's other people who have picked up the mantle of Mysterio in the comics. I believe he has a daughter or somebody. It's a woman at one point.
Yeah.
And nope, everyone thinks it's Quentin Beck. And they're like, how did you come back? You shot yourself. Like, what's up? And then lo and behold, it's like, I think it's his daughter that comes around. So it's, again, there's too much going on, though. I'm afraid Tom Holland's not going to get enough screen time. I'm afraid that, again, Sony's hands are still in this a little bit, and they're going to screw it up. They've screwed up Venom. They screwed up the first time they tried to bring out a Sinister Six. What is left that Sony's going to just mess up?
This is one of those things where it's like, man, I really trust Kevin Feige in the MCU. And I also really don't trust Sony.
Exactly.
And so it's like, how are those two things going to merge? They've done it with the first two Spider-Man movies. Homecoming and Far From Home, I thought were both really good. The other, Spider-Man appearances, whether it's, again, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, like all of his scenes in those movies have been really great. And this one, I'm just like, man, like what are they doing? Maybe it's going to be amazing. Like I'm holding out hope that it's going to be amazing, but I'm very worried and concerned about the overstuffing and about the fact that, is this Tom Holland's swan song as our Spider-Man? I think Sony clearly is going to want him continuing to play Spider-Man.
Well,
but I don't want him in the Tom Hardy Venom universe. Like, I don't want that. And somebody I know was like, well, maybe they'll bring Venom into the MCU. And I'm like, I don't want that either. Like, this Venom needs to stay away. Go over there in the corner and don't ever come back. And don't make this Carnage movie.
Tom Hardy can come over, but lose that symbiote, go find another Venom, and they become that Venom.
Tom Hardy's not the right guy for Venom.
I'm okay with you, Tom Hardy.
I love Tom Hardy. I don't want Tom Hardy as Venom.
I also don't want what's his face from that '70s show.
Oh no, Topher Grace?
Yeah.
No, that was awful.
Yeah. So anyway,
it was really bad.
We spent too much more time on this, but again, guys, this is our breakdown of it. This is what I think our conspiracies are, what we both really enjoy and love. And again, I'm a comic book side guy, and I'm afraid they are going to screw up One More Day. They're going to screw up Sinister Six.
Well, everybody already hates One More Day, so.
I loved it to the very end, and then I hated it. So anyway, I don't know. It makes you also wonder, is Aunt May going to get shot in all this whole thing? Because that's what started One More Day.
Yeah. I think, I mean, there are reports out, and that take this with a giant grain of salt. There have been reports that someone close to Peter is dying. I'm not going to reveal who here, even though it's been reported. I don't feel comfortable sharing that spoiler, just in case it's true. But like
we'll see.
There are reports that someone close to Peter from our movie continuities will die.
No, I hope not. We'll see. But on that note, let us know down below what you think. Again, I also want to know, did you like the One More Day comic book storyline or the Brand New Day storyline? Do you like the Sinister Six? Do you like the whole thing with Mephisto and Strange? Is Mephisto going to be in this? Did Wakanda did it again? WandaVision screw it up for you? Did I just screw it up for you because I say Wakanda instead of WandaVision? WakandaVision.
I would do that.
WakandaVision. Anyway, so guys, on that note, stay geeky and get your geek on, guys.
Bye.